China has strongly criticised the United States after the American economy had its AAA credit status downgraded for the first time ever. China holds more than $1 trillion of US government debt. Our business correspondent Joe Lynham reports.
Americans are waking up today to a new feeling, no longer being the safest economic kid on the global block.
Haven't gotten any good news lately. You know, everything's costing more. Jobs are hard to get.
I don't think we're a bad investment. I think we've got some very, very bad leadership and bad interest groups that are affecting things very negatively.
Standard & Poor's are one of the three main credit rating agencies who provide their opinion on the creditworthiness of countries and companies. It's just an opinion, and as we saw 3 years ago, it's often very wrong. But that opinion still matters to governments and markets. That'll almost certainly trickle down and result in ordinary consumers paying more to take out car or home loans. And America's biggest trading partners aren't hiding their anger either. India called for urgent action from Washington to cut its ballooning debt mountain, while China, America's largest single creditor, was even more forthright. The Xinhua official government agency said China had the right to demand the United States address its structural debt problems, and it called for a new, stable global reserve currency to avert a catastrophe caused by any single country. And the consequences of the US downgrade won't go unnoticed here either, though the government was being optimistic.
There is clearly a lot of turbulence in international financial markets. People saying, well, it's like 2008, but of course it's fundamentally different. That was a crisis of collapsing banks. Britain was at the heart of that storm. We're very much at the edge of this storm because our own public finances are under control, our deficit's been reduced, and there is confidence in Britain.
The real concern about today's announcement is the impact on global economic confidence. It was brittle thanks to squabbling American and Eurozone politicians anyway. It might snap entirely after this downgrade. Joe Lynham, BBC News.
Joining me now is Chris Roebuck from Cass Business School. Good afternoon to you. So these credit agencies, do what they say matter to us?
Yes, it does matter because, as Joe has just said, this may make the price of credit in the US increase for companies and for consumers, and they consume what we export to them. So there is a strong possibility that if this does affect that credit price, and let's not forget, it's only one of the three agencies that have said this, then it will have an effect in this country in terms of slowing down potentially our recovery as well.
So there's another agency about to report, what, the end of this month? And then
yes.
There's another one as well. So if they all come out with saying the same thing...
It will obviously have the effect of making the situation worse. But also, let's not forget that these agencies themselves are to some degree, in terms of their judgment, slightly questionable, because it was actually these agencies, these very agencies 2 to 3 years ago, that were implicated in the financial crisis, because these agencies were effectively taking debt that was bad debt, repackaging it for the banks and putting it out back into the market as good debt and making money out of it. So to some degree, there's a question that if they got it wrong then, how right are they now?
And President Obama also saying this time they've got their calculations wrong by billions.
Well, yes, the US government has said that the actual calculations upon which this decision is based are out by $2 trillion. So there are a number of questions. And to some degree, there's also an even bigger question about the whole principle of this. Bearing in mind these decisions and these ratings can affect the lives of millions of people in countries, should it really be down to a commercial ratings institution to make that judgment, especially bearing in mind they got it wrong in the financial crisis and were hauled in front of the Senate to explain themselves? Should this not maybe being done by an organisation like the IMF that is independent and is likely to seriously think through the implications of its judgment?
What about the UK? Do they assess us as well?
Yes, and at the present moment in time, we are better than the United States in the terms of
at the present moment in time.
But they constantly review it. But that is the key question, in that if one of those agencies takes the decision to downgrade a country, the effect on the entire population of that country can be significant. And should that really be in the hands of commercially driven rating agencies rather than an international institution that is likely to get it right.
Are you looking to Monday morning then?
Monday morning could be interesting. The problem with the global financial market now is because of the speed of communications, things happen fast. Years ago, a small panic in a stock exchange somewhere stayed as a small panic in a stock exchange somewhere. Nowadays, a small panic in a stock exchange somewhere becomes a big panic in lots of stock exchanges, and we'll just have to see how it plays out.
Chris Roebuck, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.